I wish to share a message about sensitivity, and we'll just jump right into it because it's actually an urgent necessity to discuss this truth. And it's really sad that we have to talk about it because it's a given. But unfortunately nowadays, even something that's a given, we still need to talk about it. But I'm representing right now the brokenhearted and the people who need help. I'm representing now the people who don't need to hear this, so that the people who do need to hear this can become a little bit more aware of where they're holding. The purpose of becoming aware of where you're holding is in order to wake up and to elevate yourself and to start to heal. So, and then the people who don't need to hear this, the people who are already broken, this will also elevate them because they're finally gonna hear the voice of their heart speaking words. So it's really sad that we have to talk about it. It's like, let's say somebody just walks into a store and bumps into an old lady and knocks her down on the floor. You're just like, do you have to tell him, "Excuse me, sir, you know that was really bad"? No. You just say, "Yo, what? What just happened? You just bumped the old lady. She's on the floor." You don't have to talk about the fact that it's messed up. But nowadays, the most messed up thing is that you do need to talk about what's messed up, because this disease of insensitivity became so strong that nowadays what's messed up is looked at as normal. So I'm gonna be very straight up and say what's messed up, and yeah, there's a lot of pain, and yeah, there's a lot of anger, and it's supposed to be this way. There's a lot of pain and a lot of anger towards the people, which are billions of them, the people who are violating the human experience. This is to bring awareness, and it's going to be presented in a way where it will be made so clear, and it will be put into a language that will speak directly to the heart. So bear with me as we slowly get into this, because even though it's a little bit hard maybe to hear this, you have to realize that it's even harder not to, because if you don't face reality, eventually it will face you. And that eventually could be in the near future, it can be in the far future. Eventually reality hits. And unfortunately, we're living in a time where reality is speaking pretty strongly. And the humans, the diseased humans who are living in this consciousness of sleep and insensitivity are still putting on a show as if everything's okay. But this show is getting worse and worse. It turned into a horror movie already, but it's still a movie, it made it to Hollywood. But slowly, the show is starting to glitch and buffer, and more people are just quitting the game. And this is a sign that we're getting closer to a time where people are becoming more and more sensitive. This is why people are becoming more and more hurt, because they're feeling the pain that's meant to be felt. So, somebody who's never heard this type of talk, which most people never heard this type of talk, usually the type of talk that's available is like education. Like, let me teach you now about how magnets work. Let me teach you about how astronomy works. Like, it's all about teaching. Even if you go to the best colleges, it's all about teaching information. Even if you learn about the mind and the subconscious and the everything is all in the format of education. And that speaks to one part of the experience. It's more of the analytical brain. Even if you speak about emotions, if you're speaking in the language of the brain, that's where it will be taken. And then there's also the mystical presentation where people try to reveal a higher level of consciousness, and they speak about the unity. They speak about how the truth is that there is none but one I am, one existence, one being, and how to give a good positioning for the five senses to swallow this truth. And you have all sorts of mystical speeches out there, mystical teachings that can teach you about the energy around you and teach you about your power. These are all good. All the education is good, and all the mystical talks are good, and it's amazing. So everybody keep it up. Keep being mystical. Keep educating. However, one thing that you don't hear is the voice of the heart. The closest thing you'll ever get to the voice of the heart is music, where people express joy, express pain. But it's covered over by fame, it's covered over by all sorts of personas. It's covered over by talent. There's no relevance of just simple, pure heart. And when people's hearts force them to start opening up, then they think they're sick. They think that they're broken. And they think they're uncontrollable because they were taught by a society that suppresses the heart, the truth of the heart. And then they get put into some kind of category that they're diseased, they're broken. But I'm here to express and to teach that it's the opposite. If your heart is starting to give you an experience that's a little bit out of the order, a very uncomfortable experience, then you're lucky. It means that it's responding to the poison that it's heating. So we'll jump right into it, but in a very practical way, in a very real way that's not into education. We don't need to educate. Nobody needs education to be a good guy. You know, to be a good guy, yeah, everyone knows, and nobody needs education and to be informed that to be insensitive is bad. Yeah, we know to be insensitive is bad already. This is simple. But what's needed is to speak about you. Let's just talk about you. That's right, you, the mirror, me. Where am I? That you'll never hear. You ever heard a speech about yourself? Ooh. In the beginning you think it's not true, you think it's like, well, you don't know me. But when you start hearing about yourself and it's true, you're like, hold on, how does he know? How does he know me? What's happening here? Oh, wait. You know, fast forward maybe 5 minutes and continue, and you'll hear and you'll be like, whoa, hold on, he's talking about me, this is freaky. Because there's only one heart. In the brain, there's a lot of separation. Each person has their vision. But in the heart, there's one language for all. So, to bring it up to life, I'll begin to discuss the brokenness and the numbness of the diseased heart. So, we're in a classroom, and a child raises his hand, and the teacher says yes. And this child has a lisp and says something with his lisp, and the kid in the corner copies his lisp and laughs. And the teacher says, "Hey, that's not nice." And if it's a really sensitive teacher, the teacher will be like, "Let's go, get up, I'm sorry, sweetheart. Go to the principal's office. You can't make fun of another person." And if the teacher is even nicer, then after class, the teacher will go over to the kid and say, "I'm so sorry that they hurt you. Don't listen to them, you're so good." But that's the most you'll get in this world. But it doesn't touch the heart. The heart is still broken. When a child gets insulted, nothing can justify it. Even the child himself can't allow himself to experience such pain. This is the language of the heart. You were made fun of? You were made fun of? What? I can't say anything about that. I can't say I'll protect you. I can't believe it. Like, I can't say anything. I can't say anything to you. I could just be with you in your pain. But the fool that thinks that the heart is like the brain, and it forgets, or it can be answered. His name is Mr. Heart of Stone. There's no answer to the heart. It's not a question. It's an experience. So, the message that I'm trying to express right now is, let's begin to feel what we are feeling. Now, no, I don't mean therapy. I don't mean to start experiencing your past or to start experiencing the emotions that you're feeling. Like if you're edgy, you should stop and realize that really you're afraid. That's not what I mean. I mean, come on. Because the therapy and the getting real and whatever, finding a space for yourself, it's crazy. It's good. It has its time and place, but it's crazy because what are you doing? You need a time and space to feel what's happening. It's happening. Why are you being so systematical? Can't you see this is a reality? It's not something you have to process. It's here. It is. You're feeling it. You are it. It's you right now. And this is what's so difficult, that anything you say, it gets translated into the file of something I already heard. So somebody could be listening right now and I'll be like, okay, yeah, it means to process your emotions. It means, no, nothing like that. This is a new message. Yeah, you're saying to feel. You need to start feeling your emotions. You need to feel what you're feeling and really let it go. No, also not. Just please give me a chance. Okay, worst comes to worst, I'm crazy. Worst comes to worst, you wasted a couple of minutes and realized that some guy was just saying some stupid stuff. But just don't project what I'm saying. I'm teaching right now. I'm teaching you something that you don't know yet. So open up and listen. And I'm teaching from humility. I'm teaching from honesty and reality. Not from strength and pride. I'm teaching from brokenness. I'm reflecting brokenness, the brokenness of the world. So, I wish that people would be real enough to begin to realize that what's not okay is not okay. And I wish people would begin to realize that the definition of not okay does not mean something that's uncomfortable. Not okay means there's no option for this to happen. If you found out that your child, God forbid, was kidnapped, that's an example of not okay. You don't say, okay, look, next time. No, you're going to be upside down. You're going to be a wreck until you find it, until you find your child. That's what it means, not okay. So when you say it's not okay that the kid gets bullied, nah, it's okay. It's okay with you. You'll live, you'll sleep that night, you'll continue. Things will just continue. But if your kid gets kidnapped, that's not okay. So when the kid gets insulted, it's okay. it's not the best, but it's okay. And this is where the shift happens, the shift from being a heart of stone to a heart of flesh, being insensitive to sensitive. No, it's not sensitive to care and to say that you care and to say that I'll protect you. That's not sensitive, that's insensitive. It's even more insensitive than if you were to say nothing. What? To leave the kid just insulted? That's even more insensitive. Yes, it's even more insensitive because if you acknowledge that something happened here and then you manipulate it, that's a deeper violation to the kid, a deeper violation to the heart. Oh, this is extreme talk, extreme, you must be traumatized, you must be, and now you'll start giving all the diagnoses in your mind. This is absurd, this can't be. And the brain will come up with all the answers, just not to face reality. But again, reality is beginning to speak louder and louder, and the heart is beginning to let its voice be heard. This is why a crazy percentage of children are already on medication. This is why the suicide rate is just getting higher and higher. This is why the midlife crisis is happening to almost everybody. This is why everyone is beginning to break. What? No, it's not gonna happen. No, I'm fine. No, I'm okay. This is why the divorce rate is so crazy high. This is why the abuse rate is basically like 99%. So, if people wish to live in philosophy and in the painting that they painted for themselves, however beautiful their painting is, however much it makes sense, however logical it is, eventually the heart will give them a reality check. Everybody gets to this, and some people get it after they die. But I'm coming to represent the people who already got the reality check, the people who are broken. A voice needs to stand up. A spirit needs to stand up to represent the broken heart. So, slowly but surely, I wish to continue and share more about this reality and how it ties into everything, and how it's the starting point of everything, the heart. But the main direction will be to express and show how it's not what you think it is. It's very different. It's not psychology, it's not mysticism, it's not education. It's just the heart. So bear with me as we learn further. And if there's a ring of truth in my voice, then give me a chance. Give us a chance to grow together.